Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I'm here today with a new Archive 365 video. This is a year-long creative project where we make an artist trading card per day for the whole year. So what we're going to do is I will release a new pack, like a base pack every month, and then we will create the cards over the month. I'll do a couple videos. I'll give you some bonus printables, some extra inspiration throughout the month. I'll show you my cards, and hopefully you guys will show me yours, either in the Facebook group or wherever you would like to post them on social media. And then we'll just do it all over again the next month. So basically, if you would like to participate in this, here's how you do it. I did release the first kit on Etsy, but in hindsight, that was probably a mistake because this is a 12-month project. And if you buy it on Etsy, it's really hard for me to give you access to the workshop, which is hosted on my website, which is basically just an area that contains all of the videos and all the downloads and stuff like that on it. So I'm going to not be offering it on Etsy after this month. Okay, so you will have to go to my website to buy it, but it is not hard. It's very easy. I'm using Stripe, so like you probably already, I mean, a lot of people already have like, you know, accounts with them. So, but basically it is $99 for the entire year. That's all the printables, all the videos, everything. Or you can do it by the month, which is $9.99 a month, and you can do that on a monthly basis. So if you want to hop in for February but hop out and then hop back in June, you know, depending on your schedule, you can do that if you want. And if you want to do the yearly option, it also lets you split it into 3 payments of $33. I want to make sure that I wasn't as clearly transparent about that in my first video, because like it was a lot of information, a lot of new stuff, and I, you know, like, of course, like, it didn't even occur to me to mention all of this. So I want to make sure that I explain the framework a little bit better so that you guys understood it. I was in the middle of launching the new website and Junk Journal January and this all at once, which is a lot, but, you know, I wanted to get it out at the beginning of the year. So we could do it throughout the entire year. And, you know, one of the motivating goals for this year is to create more shared experiences for all of us. So just like you've seen the progress of Junk Journal January, if you've been participating in it, and it's going quite well, and I would like to continue to run a lot of different workshops like that throughout the whole year. So in order to do that, I had to create a sort of way for myself to still be able to, you know, pay all my bills and keep the electricity on and feed my kids and make sure the dogs have treats. So that's basically kind of was my motivation or thinking behind this whole process, is to create a year-long thing where I know people will be participating in it. It's not going to be like a shot in the dark. I know people are committed to it and they want to do it and they're willing to, you know, pay a little bit of money for it. So that's kind of like that. This project here is going to allow me to do more free projects, more free workshops, more stuff just in general. And I'll also be doing more paid kits that I will sell on Etsy, and you will be able to get additional, you know, be able to have a workshop as well for those kits. So I would release a kit, 1 kit a month probably for the year, and each month we'll make that journal, you know, and it will be a lot like Junk Journal January. So hopefully that makes sense. I haven't given you too much information. I apologize for talking so much. You know, I have a lot to get out there. So I will also try to kind of write all of this down and post it. If you are interested in Archive 365, though, I'll put the link in the description. You just need to go to my website, which is inkandpage.co. It's right there on the front. It says Archive 365, and you just click the button, and it'll take you to the page where you can purchase it. Okay, so with all of that said, hopefully I covered it all. I made myself a list. I hit everything on my list, I think. And now let's talk about the actual creative process here that we're all going to be participating in. The idea behind this is just to be able to create a moment out of your day or maybe your weekend, depending on your schedule. You may be like, okay, I'm just going to make mine on the weekend, and that is great too. You may only want to make one a week. You may want to make one a week in January, but you want to make all of them in February. It's completely up to you. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is, like, I already, in the first video, we made these here. So I'm going to show you quickly the printables for that I'm adding today, and then we'll jump in and make some of the cards for today. Piccolo's having a wild dream, you guys. Okay. So one of the things that I really enjoyed and used a lot of for my cards were these particular embellishments. So I made a couple more. Because they, for whatever reason, they're the ones that spoke to me. So, and I was looking to add some butterflies to this kit too, because I feel like for whatever reason, butterflies are such an integral part of like creative work. It's like, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's the changing from caterpillar to butterfly that's symbolic and we are all attracted to this idea. But I wanted to get some butterflies in here too. So I did do some butterflies as well as butterflies and some little labels here. I also found this paper, which immediately attracted me to it. I'm always searching through like vintage archives and things like that. Like I'm always combing through eBay, just looking for these little special items that, I can add to a kit or add to my own collection just to add that little bit of extra inspiration. So this is like an old book page, and I found it on a website, so I thought I would include it. And then also the same here. This is also a vintage pattern that I found alongside this one. And then these ones I made, and this one also is a vintage one. So I wanted to have a little bit of new inspiration for you guys, as well as just some extra kind of layering pieces and color inspiration. I have two different styles here for you. I have this kind of much more neat, this neater linen style, still a little bit grungy, but mostly neat. I thought these would be really fun to stamp on, really fun to cut up. Same with these. These are a little bit bigger, a little bit grungier, a little bit messier. These are really good starters. If you want to stencil on top of these, it would probably be spectacular. So that is just kind of my thinking behind these printables here, and what I wanted to kind of add to what we have already. And then if you have any particular requests or questions or anything like that, you can just throw them into the comments and I'll take those into account. And like, because I'm going to do one more video at least for this month. And I also want to do a make a box to keep these cards in, so that we can have like, just like when we did the Tiny Tales, we had the book box where all the books went inside that box. I want to do something similar for this project, so that we have a way to keep and display our cards in a way that we can continue to enjoy them as we move through the year. Okay? All right. So here is the next thing I wanted to go over with you guys. Okay. So I wanted to do a quick, I'm going to show you guys how I am storing my ephemera just really quickly, and go over a few of the things that I'm doing to make my life easier while I'm doing this. Okay, so this is a silverware organizer, which I had an extra one of. I also keep some of my washi tape in these as well, because I can keep them like under my desk and then just whip the whole thing out, because a lot of times the drawers and stuff are really small. This allows me to like put my like whole collection of Tim Holtz washi tape in here, and then I can just pull it out and I'm like, okay, I know I want to use Tim Holtz, or I know I want to use 49 in Market, so I can just grab this whole drawer. Well, it's not really technically a drawer, but I just keep it on a shelf and then I just pull it out. But so I've started, I reorganized, and I had an extra one of these. So I thought, let me try putting my ephemera in it. And it seems to have worked out pretty well. I sorted these out in kind of a crazy manner that works for my brain here. But what I did do is I put my cards here. I have my paper scraps, and I have some fabric scraps over here. I have a pair of tweezers in here, some trims. And then what I did is, for my actual cards, I sat down and I did all of I assigned the little dates to one card, okay? So that I would have these ahead of time just attached to a card. So this takes a little bit of the decision making out of it. Not the creativity, just the decision making, okay? I've got a card and I've got a date for my month, okay? So these are all ready to go, and then I can just grab these out and do them like one at a time or two at a time, or however many times at a time that I want to do them, okay? I also, just to, like, quickly, sorry, I blew by this, but I have words here, I have taller ephemera here, I have picture ephemera here, I have vintage ephemera here, bigger ephemera here. So that's kind of like how I organize this. And then I have all of my cards and stuff over here. And all of my new ephemera is over here, just because I wanted to keep it separate for this video to make sure that, I was incorporating it without it getting it lost in these piles here. Okay, so you may have noticed that not only do I have dates clipped to some of these, but I do have pictures clipped to some of these. So I have a couple of pictures that I wanted to include. So I went ahead and printed those out, and I'm just going to stick them to the back of the cards. This one is of Poppy, and she's in her little dinosaur outfit here in this one. And then I also have one of Pickle, because he's so adorable. And he's a professional sleeper, but he fell asleep here, and so I just could not, I hope that's not glitching off the camera, but I just wanted to include a couple of like what we do in a day type situations, because, I spend a lot of, they hang out with me all day, either while I'm working, or I'll hang out with them when they're outside. So I just wanted to include them in my month. And I have a few other pictures that I will include in my month as well, but the participants in those are a little bit more private, so they don't want their faces on the internet, which is completely understandable. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that, and I also had clipped this piece of trim to this one here because I found this, I have a monthly subscription to linens from 1928 Linens and More on Etsy. And when I opened my package for this month, this was included in it. And I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, Archive 365. So I was like, so I clipped it to one of the cards immediately. So so I would know that I wanted to use it. Otherwise, who knows when I would see it again, right? Because I would put it with my, the rest of my linens from this month, and they would stay together, but they wouldn't necessarily be on my desk when I was doing this. So, okay, I know, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm doing a lot of talking, not a lot of crafting. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm just going to put a couple of these out here. And then I had picked out, a couple of images that I wanted to use on particular days, and I also clipped those. There's very few of those. I only did like 2 of them. It's just sometimes I'll be going through stuff and I'll see something and it will spark something in me, right? And so I'll be like, okay, that I'm going to include because, that made my imagination kind of spark a little bit. So what I'm going to do here with this one, because I'm going to ink on both of these, and then we're just going to get some ephemera and go to town on these. I could, I'm like, how can I not make a 9-hour video, right? But what I think I'm going to do with this one here is I'm going to keep the books on the back and flip this over and just have this go on this side. I am undecided. I think I want this to be my front. And then I'm just going to go ahead and figure out what else I want to add on here to kind of like bring out my theme a little bit more. I definitely feel the relationship between the books, like the power of books and a keyhole, and you know, just how much this opens this opens doors, just like, you know, this would let you open a door. So basically what I'm going to do is kind of try to bring that whole thing together for myself, because that's what I thought of when I saw it. It doesn't, like, you know, this doesn't have to be like super duper like related to the actual day itself. I think it's just related to how you're feeling. What are you thinking? I don't think it has to be like, oh, I had, you know, macaroni for dinner, unless it was really good macaroni, in which case definitely you want to write that down. Okay, so I'm just looking for my little ephemera pieces here, and then I need some scissors because this is kind of big. You just never know what you're going to use it for, though, so it's better to have it big. Okay, so we have this here. And then what the perfect thing for this would be is some, like, what's interesting here is, okay, so let's do this. Okay. All right, so here's what I want to do, is I'm going to grab more of a book page. Okay, so basically I'm just going to create like a little frame for myself. Okay, and then I'm going to add this to my card here. And these can be as complicated or simple as you want. I'm going to do them in a variety of different ways, just so that it doesn't, like, you know, like, you don't have to get out ink and you don't have to get out a book page. You can, you know, do this however you like. You could also just sit yourself down with a pile of scraps from something, you know. Oops. And just have that be your, what your, you know, your extra pieces. Like, I like to have a little bit of extra pieces. I made this a little bit too long. It's nice to have something that contrasts with what you're using. I always try in my kits to provide some sort of contrast, but don't always think that I succeed. I just think because the whole idea of creating contrast is it's really hard to do it, like, from within. You need to do that from without. Of course, it could be a little nutty, but I don't know. These are the things I think about when I'm making kits. Okay, so now I've got these guys. I've got a book. And we don't have to necessarily go down there with that one. I just happen to have all this stuff on my desk. I have a lot of random stuff on my desk right now because of Junk Journal January. Like, I'm constantly, because I'm doing a lot of different projects, so I have a lot of different stuff too. One good, you know, like, if you're looking for something that would be a simple addition to your, like, routine, it would just be like a couple of rolls of washi tape. you could basically use those for like all of your layers, you know. I'm just gonna flatten this guy out, put this behind here. I'm like probably in a more what do you call it, like crafty mindset than like if I had just sat down to do this, like just because like I'm like in the middle of making a lot of videos. So you know what, I don't like it. Okay, I think I'm gonna use a pen instead. That's definitely gonna need extra. Okay, and now I'm gonna stick my pen just behind it. I want this to be kind of like slightly tucked behind there. There we go. Okay, so now I have this back part, and one of the things like that I always think about when I'm doing videos like this is that I'm going to offer you a lot of different options here. Like, do not feel like you have to do all of the options. Like, I'm trying to cover a lot of bases because I want, like, just different people have different supplies, right? So I want to try to bring in a lot of different supplies. So don't feel stressed out if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have this or I don't have that. You don't need that. You just need something. Like if you don't have washi tape, but you do have tissue paper, you can stamp on tissue paper. If you don't have stamps, maybe you have a printed napkin. You know, maybe you have a book page. Maybe you have an illustrated book, you know. Maybe you have something like that could go on there instead. So it's like, I'm trying to offer you as many options as possible, not be like, you need to have 47 different supplies. You know, I try hard not to be like, to have that be too much into the crafting, is to make the supplies be like a road bump or a speed bump or a thing that gets in the way. I just want it to be that, you know, that's why I try to make my kits as complete as I possibly can. I mean, obviously I can't do everything, but I do like to try. I do like this ripped look better. This is some of the Tim Holtz design tape, and this is the remnants. It's the one I'm using. I'm not sure. Like, I think some of this stuff is discontinued. So I did get this on eBay because I'm always over there just trying to like rustle up something interesting. You know, it's like a good place to go if you have to get your imagination going, because you can look at a lot of different stuff and, you know, it'll totally be like, oh, okay. So yeah, so this is a piece of lace that I tea dyed, and you can get lace off of all kinds of stuff. I do have, like, my grandmother embroidered like crazy. She embroidered so many things. I have like a drawer full of that stuff. Some of it's a little bit odd because it's like his and hers pillowcases that she made for my mom and dad when they got married. But you know, it's sheets and all kinds of stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, how can I incorporate some of that into my creative process, because like it's just in a drawer, you know, and I would love to make it into something else. So basically, this would be like the card I would do if I had a little bit of extra time. If I was listening to a podcast and, you know, I could just kind of sit here and, you know, think about things a little bit. Oh, I'm going to have to clip that because it's, oops, here's one. You know, because it's a little bit more complicated than, say, you know, one of the ones that I did before where it's just like, I've got like a collage of a couple of things, you know, and that's it. I'm done, you know, for the day. So let's see here. All right, so I'm going to let this, oh, you know what I wanted to do? I saw this the other day. Okay, this is, it's, I believe this is a stamp set here. It is called Stamped Stories. And this is one of my favorite stamp sets. And it has like a stitching stamp on it. So I thought, why not try that on here? Because I figured this would also be a good place to try the out new stuff. So again, like, you know, if you don't have one thing, you might have another thing. So maybe you have a stamp. If you don't have a, you know, washi tape, you know, stuff like that. I know some people are just starting out too. When you're just starting out, you do not have all of the stuff. I will say, if you're in the market for book, like if you want to find an old book or good old books, I love to hit the Friends of the Library bookstore. That's like the best place to go. Last time I was there, I bought 3 dictionaries, and I know they thought I was nuts. But dictionaries are handy. They're exactly, because you want to cut a specific word out for something, it's perfect. That could have been a little bit darker. I'm going to try again. It is possible to try again if you don't make it exactly. And then if you try again and it doesn't look good, that's when you get the washi tape back out. Oh, much better. See? That's good. That's cute. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put that one aside to dry. And let's see. Okay, so that was, let's take this one on. This is a little bit of a different color palette because it's got the blue around the edge. And then I picked out this card for some reason. Like, that's the other thing. Like, you may have picked something out, like, at the beginning of the month, and you're like, what is this? And then you could just totally change it to something else. Where did I put my little tiny scissors? So I think what I will do is, like, I'll go through a couple more of these, and then I will just, with, like, while I'm talking, and then I'll just go through and make a whole bunch of them, and you could, like, just without narration. Okay, so I want to, like, rough that up a little bit and make it look a little... what do you call it? Just a little distressed. All right, so this one here, I think I'm going to go ahead and stick this on the back of this. Oh, the other thing I was thinking, like, if something like, let's say you didn't have time to make your card that day, but something wild happened that you wanted to write down, you could totally write it down just on a scrap of paper and then just glue it to the back of your card. I totally forgot to ink this after I did that. All right, I press that down. this guy right here. I have this finger here. All right, I do like to create a little bit of a background for myself when I'm doing this. So it's always looking for like either a book page or washi tape or, you know, whatever it is that I can find that's on my desk that might work. I just like to create little backgrounds when I'm doing these little decorative cluster type thingies. So I'm going to use this washi tape for that. And I'm going to put this on here for this side, and I'm going to put this sideways. And then we will grab some thread. Put that there. Put my little hand here. I need to get some under here too. Okay, so I wanted to get like a little card that might have some journaling space on it. So I pulled my little cards out so I could go through and see if there's one that I want. Oop, that's not the right color blue. I like that. You'll probably like it. Whenever I go through here, I'm like, oh, I like that. I think I like that one. Okay, so basically I'm just going to do a little something to it so that it has like a little bit of a differentiation on it. And just give it like a little bit of an edge. And then I'll do a couple like that are just like more simpler. And it's just like maybe the front and not the back. Oh, and maybe the one, I mean, I don't know. You guys let me know. Are you looking for ideas that you can do in just a few minutes? Are you looking for ideas that you can do in 15 minutes? Do you want to like stencil on these? You know, because we could do all kinds of stuff on them. I was actually thinking about adding this like blue map washi tape on the back of this card too. Just a little bit of it to kind of decorate the background. Since I'm going to be putting the like lined paper on top of it. I know it has these like cute little scalloped edges, but and you know, you could just write directly on here too. This is like completely not necessary, but fun. You know what? It's like I'd be happier if I could see it. So I'm just gonna cut this down, actually. we go. Problem solved. This also might be a good opportunity to maybe use some supplies that you haven't used in a while. Or just use up scraps from like whatever project that you're currently working on. That might be of a larger scale, you know? Let me just kind of move that around a little bit. That's the nice thing about a glue stick. I'm thinking this. Okay, who knows where I put the, oh, there it is. I was like, who knows where I put the date? Thread's always like an easier little background thing than getting out like a piece of fabric as well. So it can be like a quicker option. Like, because I thought about putting like a little piece of cheesecloth under there, but then I thought, you know what, this would be faster. And since I want to do a bunch of these, like on this video, I want to make sure that I have enough time. So let me grab, I think I can get a clip here. All right, I'm just going to clip those there and add that to my pile there. All right, so let's grab this one here. Let's make this one pretty simple, okay? So here's what we're going to do with this one. You know, when I was making these, I was thinking, okay, what could be the simplest possible way to do one of these? And this is going to be this one here, okay? So it's going to be to take a background, to take one of the illustrations that's in the kit. This is an example of one of them here. And then to put this on the background. And then like that. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and then I have my date. And we can add that. Okay, so I'm gonna trim that where it goes, where I get overage there. Okay, so this could seriously be done if you wanted it to be. Okay, I'm gonna go the extra step of adding the trim on here. And then I think I will, okay, so that's like most card most basic right here. And then I'm gonna take it up one step by adding the trim to it. Although I got this paper clip is super tangled in there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna cut it about there. Okay, and then I'm just gonna grab some glue here for that. And then I want to glue it just inside the line of the second illustration. Right, now I got that on there too, and it's really cute as well. Okay, so that again could be the whole deal for this one here. Additionally, if you want to add anything else to it, like I think the next best thing to add to the back of it would be like a cute little card like this. And then if you had a few minutes, you could write down a couple of notes, maybe if anything happened that was fun or funny or made you happy, or that you just made this card. Because, you know, I write morning pages every day, and basically, like, that's kind of the gist of that. You don't really, it's not like you're recording anything, you're just kind of getting your thoughts out. Okay, so there, I got another one done. That one obviously was much faster because I didn't, like, mess around with a bunch of stuff. All right, let's give Poppy a little love here. This one's cute because it's got, like, a little note paper. So what I'm going to go ahead and do for this one is I'm going to put, I'm going to trim this a little bit because it's a little bit not straight because I don't think my paper cutter cuts straight. We're in a constant war, the two of us. Alright, so I'm gonna just do my distress job on that. I'm still waiting for my paper distresser to, like, turn up. It's somewhere in here. But I have, like, my whole desk is just, like, a line of piles of printables for all the days of Junk Journal January. So I thought maybe one of these cards I would, like, dedicate, I would put, like, a little picture of either the prompt list or something like that, maybe on the last day of January. Okay, and then I've got this back here, so I need to kind of just decide, do I want to put anything else under that? I would not be opposed to it. I wish that had more text on it. Okay, I do not see anything that was really speaking to me, and since my whole goal here is to not be messing around and to be actually just, you know, creating this, I'm going to just add a little bit of this to the side there. And then we'll just put that, like, have that be the kind of the layer that kind of offsets it, you know. I hope you guys are making yours right now too. And then we can put our little photo of Poppy in here. We had a couple of like super bad, cold, rainy days. And like poor Poppy had to wear clothes the whole time. She doesn't love wearing clothes. But she was so cold. And my daughter brought this back for her from Japan last year. There we go. And we have this here. All right, so let me grab my little... It's weird how quickly, like, I'm already on January 11th. It goes by fast. We can put this right at the top here. Oh, I just need the glue. I'm like, what am I looking for? Okay, there's that. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and write on this after this video is over. So I can write about the little outfit and the rain. Okay, just wanted to pop back on and do like a little recap. I just, spent the other ones up a little bit. But I did the 8th through the 15th, which I believe should be today when you're seeing this video. Um, if I'm wrong or off by a day, I'm sorry. But anyway, I wanted to kind of get us current here, and then I will hop on again in like another week or so with some more. And you guys can let me know if you want to see every single card, or if you just want me to show you my cards when I'm done. I'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts on this, and if there's anything you'd like to see in the future that I didn't include in the kit this time. I just love the idea that this could be like a more collaborative effort in terms of making things. So just in case you're wondering, this is the one that has Poppy on it. But anyway, I thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this project, and I hope that you will continue to enjoy it. So I will see you guys again very soon.